Hey, hey, hey. Good evening, good evening. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. Yeah, I get excited when I'm on time because, truth be told, it's very rare that I'm on time. I hate that, I'm sorry, but it is. It's rare that I'm on time. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So, good evening. Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, Cassandra, see, my girl is already ready, y'all. I like to put the plug in and give praises where it's due. I wear y'all see me with beads and I wear waist beads. If y'all want some, this is the lady to hit up. Cassandra Bradley. You see she's on now. Hit her up, send her an inbox or whatever. She does beautiful work. She does personalized work. So if you want some waist beads, if you want some beads for your wrist, male, female, sports teams, college paraphernalia, anything, hit her up. All right? Okay. Hey, Leia. See, I didn't have to send you a reminder, Leia. All right, so I'm going to get started because, as usual, I go ahead and I get started when I get on as soon as possible because it's going to be posted and pinned at the top of the page. So you can go back and watch it at your leisure. All right. So let me say this. I am not in the camper. So we talked about the camper and the time change, and there's no power to it out there, so I can't have any light. So I am at home tonight. I'm not in the truck. I'm not moving. I'm not rolling. There's no football practice this evening, so I'm here. I'm home in my living room. So welcome to Couch Conversations. So I guess it's Couch Conversations. All right. So I'm going to start out by saying what I normally say. I usually say, I am not a relationship, excuse me. I have looked down at my phone and I'm ready to get on this and I'm reading. All right. I am not a relationship expert. I am a black woman in this world, living this life, doing a damn thing and having a good time doing it. All right? That is who I am. I don't profess to be a relationship expert. All I know is that some things that I've gone through, some things that I'm going through, somebody else may be going through the same thing in a different way with a different person, a different situation, but there's nothing new under the sun. We all go through different things. So this group is called Real Life Relationship Growth. And it is just that. It is for growth of relationships. Whether you are single, whether you are dating, whether you are courting someone, whether you are married, Real Life Relationship Growth is the group for you. Tanil, what's up, babe? This is the group for you. Because on here, we give advice, we give life experiences, we ask questions. I get a lot of inboxes from you all. And I appreciate it because it gives different topics. Everything that I post doesn't come personally from Donna. Hey, Tanil. It doesn't come personally from me. It doesn't come personally necessarily from my situations. Some of it does, and some of it does not. Like, of course, when you see something posted, like I posted the other day about something a man would have said about, a husband speaking to his future wife or his wife or whatever. And then I posted something that says, woman is sexiest when she's wearing. And that can go either way. Women can respond to that. Men can respond to that. I also post in another group that I've joined that I was invited to. It's an adult group, relationships, things like that. And I posted it there as well. Uh-oh. Leia, there's an alarm at the daycare. Somebody open the door. It's probably Lexus. So y'all, Leia is on. Leia is my right hand, my left hand, my front, my back at the daycare center. That's my girl. She helps out. Leia, there's an alarm going off at the brick building. I think they're still there. It's like 7. But anyway, we're gonna get started. So I posted a video
You've got a text message.
And I hope you guys had a chance to watch it. It was just a little snippet. It's just a little snippet. It's just a little snippet of... All right, Leia, I'm checking my phone. It's just a little snippet, meaning the guy spoke for maybe 2-3 minutes. He spoke for maybe 2-3 minutes. And I hope y'all had a chance to watch this clip. And the title of this...
You've got a text.
The title of this... I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all give me a second. I apologize. Hold on one second. Hello? I don't know. I'm not there. We're trying to figure out what's going on now. You can notify someone. I'm going to look on the camera now and see what I see. Donna Wall. Thank you. Bye. Y'all, it never ends. All right, Miss Leia's going to go check it out. I'm sure everything is okay, but we're going to check it out to be sure. So, let me keep going. So, the guy posted on the, on Instagram. There was a post made on Instagram. Y'all, I apologize. Every time I get started, it's something. But there was a post on Instagram. And on this post, the guy was saying that he was in a marriage for 5 years. He was in a marriage for 5 years. I'm trying to get it pulled up. He was in a marriage for 5 years. The marriage was good. He said emotionally. Oh, it's 41 seconds, y'all.
So it might not look like it, but I was married for 5 years.
Let me see if y'all can
and it was an incredible relationship. I did not have any problems in a relationship, emotionally, mentally, or physically, really. The only reason I left that relationship is one thing. I knew I wanted more. You might call that greedy, you might call that selfish, and I agree with you. You cannot get out in this world and live unless you are selfish. And what I've also realized now is that I'm not interested in getting in a relationship for comfort anymore. I want to grow to the highest level, and I can't do that being comfortable.
Hey, beautiful, you've got a text message.
So, he said that he was in a relationship, wonderful relationship, mentally, emotionally, all of those things, right? In this relationship, in everything was well. Everything was well. Okay, Leia, I see you. Everything was well. Everything was good in this relationship. Except
So it might not look like it, but I was married for 5 years. I wanted more. You might call that greedy, you might call that selfish.
He needed more.
You cannot get out in this world and live unless you are selfish.
Let me stop right there. He felt like he needed more. His wife actually was pretty much giving him everything he needed. But there was something that he was missing. It was something he felt he needed more of. That he needed more. Now, let me tell y'all, honestly, when I first listened to him, when I first listened to this, everything looks good. I'm on the cameras, y'all. Everything looks good. When I first listened to this video, I immediately felt like, dude is a mess. He's wrong. This is ridiculous. So, okay, let me ask y'all. Did y'all watch the video? If you watched the video, tell me if you watched the video. Tell me if you watched the video. Hey, sis. So the alarm went off at the daycare, and we trying to see what's going on. So I'm on the cameras, but I'm talking to y'all too. So, did y'all watch the video? Is my question. Nothing's open. If you watched the video, please let me know if you watched the video. If you did not watch the video, me as well. However, I changed my mind. Okay. So, my sister says she watched it, and she felt the same thing I did. Initially, I was like, he wrong. And there's some parts of it, hey, Jackie, and there's some parts of it where I still feel he's wrong. But let me give y'all my take on it, where I am, what my thoughts are with this. So, he was married for 5 years. Everything was great. He said everything was great. But he felt like he needed more. He felt like he was obviously stagnant and he wanted to grow. And he said he made a decision.
Is that I'm not interested in getting in a relationship for comfort anymore.
So he said he's not interested in getting in a relationship for comfort. He has no interest in getting in a relationship just to be comfortable. So a friend of mine, we were talking this week. We're both entrepreneurs, right? We both have businesses. We both know the upscale and the downscale of having businesses. And we talked about being in a position where character was being built. And I truly believe, and he gave me the example one time. I was going through some stuff, feeling kind of bad or down or whatever. And he gave me the example of a teacup, excuse me. He gonna kill me when he hears me. He said it all wrong. But he gave me the example. So to paraphrase, to make this quick, the teacup started out as a piece of clay, unmolded clay. So the potter doing his thing, pounding the clay, beating the clay, forming the clay. And the clay is like, oh my gosh, this man is beating me. What's the problem? I thought you loved me. Like, you're the potter. You're supposed to be taking care of me. The potter was like, I got something better for you. I got something better for you, right? So it goes on and on. Of course, you know the story. I'm sure you can understand. The potter forms it, goes from clay. He molded it. Teacup. He molded it to what he wanted. He put the teacup in the furnace to burn. And anybody that's done ceramics, you know that you put it in the fire and you burn it, and it helps seal it, it molds it, it just gives it a shine. It takes it through the fire. And when it comes out, it's this beautiful, after it's painted and all of that, it's this beautiful piece of artwork. Gorgeous. You know, on your preference and your taste. So the teacup was that. So in that aspect of it, I understood where the brother was coming from. If he felt like he could not move forward where he was and who he was with, if he felt like he wasn't being challenged, I don't know. He didn't give a lot of backdrop to the story, but we're talking about relationships here. Let's put this just on the context of relationships, right? He's saying everything was good. How many times do you hear about someone leaving a relationship when everything is good? Like, they have nothing negative to say, but they leave the relationship. So many components to this thing. So many components to how that can go. But let me stay on this side of it. I'm going to stay on this side of it. The teacup had to go through the pounding. The teacup had to go through the agony. The teacup had to go through the fire and the burning to get to be where it was, a beautiful piece of art, a beautiful piece of work. When I listened to this video again, I took that side of it. I looked at it in that way, that this gentleman needed to be challenged and he wasn't. He wasn't in a place, in a position where he felt like he was being challenged, or there was growth for him, because there was no difficulty, if we can put it like that. And if it comes to the thought of, sometimes it takes you to go through some things to really see something. So I'm going to put it on this, right? In relationships, first and foremost, when you get in a relationship with someone, we need to take the time to figure that out. Y'all know I'm very transparent. I have no problem with sharing, because I guarantee one of y'all did the same thing I did in some way or form or fashion. If you did not, great, don't. I got married quickly. I got married quickly because I felt like the person I married, I felt like I knew this person enough to take them for their word at the things that they were planning on doing, they were going to do, that would cause growth. Not just more growth for us relationship-wise, emotionally with one another, because that was promised as well, but financially, there would be growth, right? So I took this person for their word, based off the fact I had a bit of a history with them, and I married this person. The biggest mistake. It was a big mistake because there wasn't enough time involved in really seeing where this would go, where this would be, giving that person the opportunity and the chance to show and prove. And that's big. I'm big on, you got to show me and not just tell me. I'm big on that. So when it comes to the thought process of what it takes to get to a point of knowing what you want and understanding what you need, that takes time. And when we don't take time to do that, we end up in positions where we want to end relationships and we want to walk away from what we've committed to. Everybody has a right. You have a right to choose to do what you want and how you want. But this is my problem. Marriage nowadays is taken so lightly. People jump in them, people jump out of them. People jump in them, people jump out of them. And sometimes jumping in is for such small, minute reasons. And then jumping out, small, minute reasons. We don't take the time nowadays to work on our relationships. To realize that this person is not me. This person is different from me. This person sees things in a different manner than I do. But we have enough that we're going to grow and we're going to build on. So that term, that phrase, unequally yoked, most people take it and they automatically go to the Bible. They automatically go to, it just means the same religion and things like that. Being yoked with someone goes far beyond just your spiritual. Although that spiritual is so important. That spiritual is so important. Being equally yoked with someone spiritually definitely helps the relationship. But we're talking about, are you equally yoked on goals of building, of finances, of raising children, of what you do for fun, of what you like, and what's going to be cooked, and what the dietary plan is going to be for the household, and even down to what vehicle are we going to get. We take it for granted that our way is the only way. And the person that we're with, they're going to accept who we are, how we are, what we say, what we like, and they're going to go with that, and they're going to be okay with it. So when we realize that's not how that works, and we have to give room and space for other people's growth, whether we're a part of it or not, we have to give room for that. But when you're in a relationship, we have to understand that when you make a commitment, the commitment should say, I'm going to do every single thing that I can to make this work. We're going to do every single thing that we can to make this work. When you up and jump and run and you haven't given it a chance and an opportunity for it to build and for it to work, then you're not standing behind the commitment that you made. This is why it's so important to date and get to know people. This is why it's so important to do possibly premarital counseling, because there's some things and some tough questions that will come out that you yourself and your significant other, the other person, may not have even thought of, especially based on your experiences and what your experiences were. So my sister said, when two people are together and only one is growing while the other person is standing still, and like standing still, the relationship can't grow properly unless you're pretending, going along to get along. I like that. I like that. That makes so much sense. So I'm going to come to that, Claudia. I'm going to end this point that I'm making. When you go into a relationship, you have to be ready. You have to know yourself, and you have to know that you are ready to commit and be with another person, and understand that they're not going to always do what you want them to do. They're not going to always be that person that you're going to like on a daily basis. They're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel good. There are going to be differences. So my sister made a good point. She said, when two people are together and only one is growing while the other person is standing still, and they like standing still, the relationship can't grow properly unless someone is pretending. I'm going to look out on the side like that, on the pretending part. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. People talk a good game. People say this and they say that, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And they put you in a position where you trust them. You trust what they're saying because you've grown to the point of closeness, and you've grown to the point where you trust them. And trust is like gold. Trust is like gold. Trust is worth so much more than gold. Because when you lose it, you feel like you've lost something. There's something major in trust. And when you lose it, you've lost something of worth. You've lost something of value. And it's very, very hard to get that trust back, to get that back. So if someone is pretending, if they're just telling you what they feel you want to hear, or if they're just telling you what they feel you want to hear because they have an ulterior motive, then that could happen. So the pretending part is true as well, sis. I appreciate that thought. When someone pretends, it's bound to fall apart. It's bound to fall apart. But this man said he needed more. He is not interested in growing in a relationship, to getting into a relationship just to be comfortable. To be comfortable. He's not interested in that. And on one side of it, it sounds foolish because it's like, are you serious? Like, you have the person that you want. Y'all are obviously physically up to par, emotionally up to par. Everything is great. Everything is great. And I'm sorry, it went off again. Everything is great, but you walk away. You walk away. So I need y'all thoughts. Because my sister and I both were having the conversation earlier. And again, we both felt like when we initially watched it, brother was dead wrong. Like, are you serious? Dead wrong. But then in watching it again, I had to say, Now, I think he's wrong in the fact that he ended the marriage. Because I feel like once you make that commitment, you should do every single thing possible to make that work. Now, Again, we don't know the rest of the story. We don't know if, in his reasoning behind, some people need to be out of their comfort zone to grow. Right. We don't know the story behind. We don't know if he and she, if they went through the fiery part. We don't know. We don't know if he said to her, if he said to her, hey, I'm not comfortable here. I need this. I need that. And she wasn't willing to make a move on that. We don't know that. So I picked this topic. I picked this subject. I picked this video, not so much to focus in on this gentleman, because I don't even know his name. I'm sure a lot of people don't know his name. There are 720,000 views, over 720,000 views of this video. So you can find it, and I'm sure you can get people's take on it and different perspectives. But it was a good point for me. It was a good point, and it was a good topic of discussion, because so many times we just hear the surface level of things and we go and we run with it. But we can definitely only go with our perception. We can only go with what we think and what we see. So my question to you all is, first of all, when this type of situation happens, are y'all understanding what the brother is saying? And what are you understanding about what he is saying? Do you understand? Do you feel like he's being selfish? Because he did say he was being selfish. But is being selfish always wrong? When you see better and you want better, and the person that you're with, you're involved with, you're dealing with, they don't see that, or they don't want that, or they're stagnant, or they're preoccupied, or they're comfortable where they are, do you see anything wrong with moving along and moving away from that relationship? With divorcing, with ending that relationship? There's so many things that fall under why people divorce, for so many reasons why people divorce. But how many of those things, just because the law says you can do this and the law says you can do that, how many of those things are thought about when it comes to the big wide spectrum of it? Because you have people's emotions that are involved. You have children that's involved. You have property that's involved. You have all of these different things that are involved that you have to think about. How worth it is it to jump out of your marriage because you're not happy at the moment? How worth it is it to jump out of your marriage because it doesn't look like what you thought it would? It doesn't look like what you think it should before you put in the work. Everybody, I feel, believes or deserves the benefit of the doubt. You are fine until you show me you're not. Like, unless you do something to me. Now, those of us who have issues with trust, that goes a little bit different. But on the broad spectrum of it, until you show a person you're unworthy, can they call you unworthy? Can they count you unworthy? Until you show them that you are unworthy. Hey, thank you, Eloise. You can't count them unworthy. So, did you give that marriage, did you give that relationship the chance? We talked about earlier, my sister and I, the grass being greener. And it's a cliche, and it's something people say. And honestly, it's definitely a saying. But is it a saying that is not true? Like the grass isn't greener on the other side. Or is the grass greener on the other side? Some people have gone to the other grass. They have moved to the other yard, and it has been greener. Let me tell you what my grass is greener at. My grass is greener being single. My grass is greener. When I looked at what was going on in my marriage, when I looked at the person that I discovered and realized that he was, when I found out who he was and what he was and the things that he was doing that I didn't agree with, when I looked at that, and I looked at how it would be if I were single, if I were in another yard cutting a different set of grass. The grass was greener. The grass is greener. But when we're talking about looking at other people's grass, looking at what someone else has and wanting that, looking at someone else's man and saying, oh, he treats her this way and he this and he's kind, and wanting that, or looking at another woman outside of your woman and her body is more to your liking, the grass greener on the other side. When you go to the other side, is the grass really greener? Or is it what they say? The grass is greener where you water it. The grass is greener where you take care of it. The grass is greener where you want to be. Where you want to be. My backyard was bare. It was plain. I wanted to do some things to it. I got some patio furniture. I got a fire pit. I had a frame put up for movies. We do movies on the lawn. We go out there, we drink our wine, we sit around the fire pit, we watch movies, invite people over. I love my backyard now. I love my backyard. I used to not even want to go back there because it was plain. There was nothing there. There was nothing going on. It wasn't an enjoyable place. Now I have the lights out going and turn the lights on, and it looks. Y'all ever been like downtown? For y'all that live in Atlanta, what is it? To East Ponce City Market or whatever that is, or downtown in the area at night. Hey Kevin, downtown, of any downtown really at night that has a nightlife and the lights are streaming. You have the stream of lights and the ambiance and the music is just flowing and it's nice and relaxing. That's my backyard now. Because I didn't complain about my yard. I didn't keep complaining like, oh, I don't want to go out here. It's a mess out here. You know, the grass is not cut all the time like it should be. There's nothing out there. The sun is hot and whatever. I made a change to my yard. I took the yard that I had and I made that yard better. I fixed it up. And I made it better to my liking. I took it and I watered my own grass. When we jump out of relationships because we think somebody else is going to be better, or we think going somewhere else is going to be better, or we quit a job because we feel like, oh man, I hate this job. I want to do these projects. Whatever reason you feel like the grass is greener on the other side, try watering your grass before you jump out there and get in somebody else's grass that really wasn't even meant for you. And as long as you are taking care of your own and someone leaves, it's still yours to enjoy because you took care of it. Exactly. So, to that point, sis, to what's saying, if you have to leave, because there are reasons that you have to leave, you do have to leave. If your self-esteem, your self-worth is being dumbed down and tainted and crushed, by all means, leave. But first, I am not an advocate for just jumping out of relationships and marriages. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Now, I'm going to be honest. I tend to give brothers a hard way to go. And not because I'm purposely trying to do that. It's because I've dealt with some things in life. I've kissed some frogs that didn't turn into princes. And so I don't have a lot of tolerance and a lot of patience for foolishness. And I'm sure a lot of us could speak for that. Whether male or female, you could speak for that. So if you're in a situation where you feel like there's no growth, if you feel like you're in a situation where there's no productivity, that your finances are always being depleted and diminished, and no one's coming in to say, hey, let's do this. Hey, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. I don't know you personally, but I like to greet everybody because we family. Hey, Joe. If you feel like you're in a position where there's no growth and you're stagnant and the person is not helping you become a better you, then by all means, you have to do what you have to do. Kevin said, once drought-ridden land only needs a surplus of water and turning the soil. Your plants will grow when you take care of the seeds. Kevin, that's right. That's exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. I agree with you 100%. There will be drought. There can be drought. So this brother on this video, whatever his drought was, I really hope and pray that he watered it, that he tried to turn the soil, that he tried to work on it, that he tried to figure out what her needs were that made things the way they did. And he really figured out what his needs were. A lot of times, y'all, we move on and we run from where we were because we don't even know what we want and what we need. It's okay. We don't even know what we want and what we need. So we jump out. We move on. We like, I'm not happy here. I'm not being this and I'm not getting that. Key point. When you go into a relationship with someone, it's about them. Unless it's about you and you don't have to worry about anybody else, it's about them. I don't go into a relationship and want to be with someone. Teddy, in. Go in your room. In. Unless, when you go in a relationship, when I go into a relationship with someone, I go into that relationship because I want to see them happy. I want to see them prospering. I want to see them growing. I want to see what I can do to put a smile on his face. Even when he's angry with me, even when he doesn't like me, even when I don't like him, I still want to be his peace. I want to be his, you know what, I had a rough day. I need to talk to my baby. I need to see my baby. And although she get on my last nerve or whatever, that is mine. She is mine. And same thing vice versa. So when you go into a relationship with someone, it is about the other person. I don't understand people going into relationships and want to talk about me. Like, if you want to talk about you, it is okay to be about you. But be about you by yourself. That's simple. I don't understand going into a relationship, being with someone, and your focus is yourself. That is ridiculous. Tell me that's not ridiculous. Going into a relationship, being with someone, and it's all about you. It's all about my needs. Then you should have stayed by yourself. You should stay by yourself. And it is okay to be single and stay by yourself. That is okay. Because some people enjoy the company of other people at different times. Some people enjoy that, and that's okay. But if you want to take the time to bring someone else into your space, then understand you need to learn and understand their love language. It's not your love language. It's their love language. Their love language. And it's your job, it is your job to protect them. It's your job to water their grass. It's your job to make sure their grass is growing as well as your grass is growing. So, y'all, it's so many thoughts that comes with this brother's video. There's so many thoughts, but I can't do anything on my thought in my thought process, the way I think and the way my mind is set up, to feel like that he is right in so many ways in what he did, but it comes in context. What is the context? For me, moving on when someone is not producing anything in your life that helps you grow, whether it's mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally. If you're with someone and they're not doing that for you, then moving on is possibly something you need to do. But just be sure you're doing that for them. Because it's not the I show. It's not the Donna show. Sometimes. Can't have growth. Correction. Can't have growth. Correction. What do you mean, Kevin? You said correction. Is this coming from your other one straw? Let me see. Can't have growth. Correction. Kevin, elaborate on that. Because I've in me talking, sometimes I go through different points and I understand y'all typing and y'all may catch it after I kind of move on. So could you elaborate? Can't have growth. Correction. All right. So while Kevin is typing, thank you, Kevin. While Kevin is typing and trying to kind of explain that, I want to make sure we're clear. The brother is right and the brother is wrong. But you have to determine that based on your personal experience and what works for you. And I really hate, and I wish we could hear the wife's perspective. I wish we could hear her perspective. But I really hate that their marriage ended because he felt like he needed to be uncomfortable. Because that's pretty much what he said. And I can understand being uncomfortable most time produces growth. You can't really grow unless you are uncomfortable. Like it takes some stuff. Now, that doesn't mean every single situation has to be tough and hard. Because I don't feel like relationships have to be hard, but they are. They're hard because I'm me and you are you, and we're trying to bring the two together and come on one accord and be equal in thought and mind on certain things, and enough where we can reside and abide and be with one another and not drive each other crazy and not push each other away. Relationships are all about that. If you're in a relationship where you're not being fed, first thing, I need you to look at your plate. Look at your plate. If you're in a relationship where you're not being fed, please take the time to look at your plate. And on your plate, you should see all the things that produce growth. We eat for the benefits of vitamins, the benefits of nutrients, because without nutrients, we can't grow. We can't properly grow. We can't grow healthy. We can grow. We're going to get older. Our bones deteriorate. Arthritis sets in. We just get older. Hair falls out, turns gray, dies off, all of that stuff. But what do we do to help that transition be healthy and prosperous? If you're in a relationship and you're looking at your plate and nothing on this plate is giving you growth, then you need to consider your plate. You need to consider what you're eating. You need to consider what that brother is cooking and putting on your plate. What that sister is cooking and putting on your plate. If it's not something that's conducive to your growth, You can't keep eating off the same plate. This brother decided not to keep eating off the same plate. Again, we don't know why. It really doesn't matter at this point why. He made that decision. But for yourself personally, for me personally, my plate had burnt meat on it. My plate had spoiled food on it. My plate was not growing and giving me healthy, productive feedback. Like I wasn't growing in nutrients, if y'all can understand what I'm saying. So there are times, I am not an advocate for divorce again. I really feel like anything you want can be worked out. Anything that someone wants and they work on it, they can master it. They can have it. They can fix it if you really, really want it. If you give it time, water that grass. If you give it time, communicate. If you give it time, listen. If you give it time, shut up. If you give it time, help, not harm. If you give it time, say yes without the buts. If you give it time, counseling. Y'all know I'm an advocate for counseling. If you give it time. Kevin said she's gonna get a full course meal. If it's not filling or not tasty, let me know so I can improve. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you. And that's my point. That's what I'm saying. Communication is key. I had a discussion with a friend of mine today. I love him dearly. Had a discussion with him. And without getting deep into what we talked about and why we talked about it, I said to him, I don't expect you to be perfect. I don't expect you, paraphrasing, because I don't want to say exactly, but paraphrasing. I don't expect you to be perfect. I don't expect you to be everything I need and everything I want. I just expect and want and desire for you to consider me and be respectful to me. And by doing those things, it shows me what you have to give to me. What comes from you and where it's genuine and where it's heartfelt. And then it's up to me to take the time to say, okay, you know what? I might have liked a certain thing this way and he didn't do it that way, but he did it this way. He's watering the grass. He did it that way. And that's the way he understands and he relates to getting it done. But I have to decide if that's for me. And please, 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 please do that before jumping the broom. Do that before you get into a marriage where you realize, dang, this is not for me. Y'all, I've made mistakes in my life. I got married when I shouldn't have. It was honestly, I'm going to be honestly transparent, told the truth. It was time wasted. And I worked on this thing. I tried in my mind. I said, let me make some changes in me. Maybe it's me. Is it me? Am I the drama? That's a TikTok I did, y'all. It's hilarious. But maybe I need to make some adjustments and some changes to see someone else's perspective and how something can be different. And let me go with that. And that's literally how I went into this marriage. I went into this marriage saying, we have some differences, but as a whole, as people, we're great people. And we talk and we communicate together well. And it was wonderful. Like, because when you see what you need to see, it's wonderful. Who does not gravitate to something that they see that they want or they've been desiring? Brother was checking boxes, y'all. Brother was checking boxes. And truth be told, he was checking boxes because he listened to me long enough for enough years to know what I wanted and what I needed. But it goes back to the point of what my sister said earlier. If you're not pretending. So when you get to the point of pretense, eventually it falls apart. It doesn't work because you can keep up a facade and a lie for so long. But when you're trying and working at something, even though it doesn't look the way you want it to look or doesn't sound how you think it should sound, it works out, y'all. It works out. So water the grass in your yard. Don't take a relationship 5, 6, 7, 10 years, 2 years, 6 months, and run and jump away from it because something doesn't look like you think it should or want. There's something about that person that drew you to them. There's something about that person. Hey, Eric, sweetie. Long time. There's something about that person that drew you to them. There's something about that person that attracted you. There's something about that person. There was something about that person that made you say, man, like, yo, this is it, right? And then when that person started showing you things that you was like, yo, what is that? This ain't it. But they're showing you other sides. There are more sides to us than the happy-go-lucky, all the time is great, everything's going to be great all the time. That is so unrealistic. That is so non-existent. There is no one, excuse me, in this world, on God's green earth, on this planet and any other planet that is perfect and has a perfect life and nothing ever goes wrong. You never get sick. You never fail a class. You never fail at work. You never trip and stub your toe. You never not sexually please your mate. You never not burn food. You never not come home and everything is clean. There's no perfection. But when you take the time to make perfect what's right for you and what you need, there's no way it's not going to work. This brother left a relationship after 5 years, a marriage, because he said everything was great, but he said he was pretty much bored. Like, it wasn't productive. Like, that's kind of what I got from it. Like, and again, I got what he was saying on one spectrum, and on the other spectrum, I felt like he was so wrong. Like, he was so wrong. But we can only speak for ourselves. We can only speak for ourselves. Take the time to communicate with your significant other. Know that it's not going to be easy. Know that it's not going to always be perfect, that you're not always going to be loving, you're not always going to feel loved, and understand that what you work on, what you focus on, what you put time into is what works. So I made a comment to a friend of mine. It's no secret that I believe dating more than one person is great. It's no secret. I truly believe that. I truly believe that dating more than one person gives you different perspectives. It allows you to see what you want, what you don't want. And as I put it, may the best man win or the best woman win. If that's not for you, that's not for you. Some people don't have the level of thought and thinking that allows them to date more than one person. Hey, Ricardo, it doesn't allow them. They can't do it. Like, I need one person. I need them to focus on me and only me. And understand, I agree with that. I get that. This is what I'm saying. When you initially start dating someone, you don't know who they are. You don't even know if you're going to like this person or if you're going to want to spend time with this person. This is talking about intro to dating. Let's put it like that. An intro to dating, You're getting to know someone. You're going out on dates. You're talking on the phone. You're finding out what the other person likes or whatever. And then when you get to a point where that person piques your interest enough, and that person piques your interest so much that no one else matters, that's when that ends. That's when that ends. So I say, date them all, let the best man win. Date them all, let the best woman win. This is the caveat in that. You have to be honest. You have to be open, and you have to be honest. Like, that doesn't mean you have to tell every person you're dating all your personal happenings. If you're having sex with one person in that group of people, that's your business. Now, I think it's somebody else's business when you decide to have sex with them as well. I think it's important and only fair to say, hey, we need to be protected or whatever. However that needs to work. It's only fair to be honest with that. Let people do what they want to do with the information you give them. It's their right. Lying for what? Grown people shouldn't lie. For real. Like, if you grown, what you lying for? Why are you lying if you grown? Grown people should be able to do what they want, how they want. Of course, considering the well-being of themselves first and others. If you cannot be respectful to somebody, stay away from them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. So in the process of dating more than one person, it comes down to a point where you make a decision, you and the other person. I have this thing. Unless we had a come to Jesus meeting, that's how I always put it. Unless we had a come to Jesus meeting and we said, hey, it's going to be me and it's going to be just you. Unless we had that conversation, don't be surprised and don't expect that it's just you. And understand, I'm going to be respectful to me first. So that leaves you safe to know I'm respecting you. That's how that works. That's how that works. But if you're in a position that you can't do that, then don't do that. And you need that just one-on-one. Like, people have asked me for my number. And I have shared my number with some that I choose to and others I did not. But if I share my number with you, and I'm sure ladies, all of y'all could back me up on this. If I share my number with you, that means I'm opening the door for you to come in. I'm giving you the time and the space to come into my circle and have conversations and be honest and be honest, right? That's what the opening is for. So when that's there for anybody, don't take it for granted. It is possible that relationship ended because one person was being taken for granted. He could have felt like he was being taken for granted. He could have felt that way. Again, this comes down to personal reasonings and for yourself. If you feel like you're being taken for granted in a relationship and you've communicated this to the other person and they're not showing you the respect that you deserve, then you make a decision what you need to do. All right, y'all. So if you hadn't seen the video, I tagged a lot of y'all today just to kind of let y'all know what was going on. I always tag to let y'all know what time, because y'all, I'm not going to tell y'all how many times somebody has said, you went live and you ain't tell me. Or I didn't know the live was tonight or whatever. I tend to go live every Friday evening about 7 o'clock. It's about 7 o'clock now. Every Friday evening, whether I'm traveling or whatever. I didn't go live last Friday because I was with my family. It was Thanksgiving. Didn't take the time to do that. But whether I'm traveling, I'm on the beach or whatever, I more than likely would go live. So just know that. So now you know, right? But I tag people because I get a lot of that. Like, if I would have known you was on, I would have got on because I had something to say. But the video is going to be posted. This live will be posted. It'll be pinned at the top of the page. on the Real Life Relationship Growth page. Okay? The video that I'm talking about, if you have not already seen it, it's on the page as well. The brother was married for 5 years and he walked away. He divorced his wife and he left. 5 years of him saying it was great. It was great. So we scratch our head like, what was it? But you have to know for yourself. You have to decide for yourself. Always take care of yourself. Love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't be that for anybody else. You have to be strong for yourself first, because you can't be somebody else's strength unless you're strong for yourself. And just know the strong do get weak. So let's support each other, y'all. Let's take care of each other. Let's be honest with each other. Let's be helpful to each other. Let's be giving to each other. If you can't do that, leave people alone. All right, y'all. So it's been an hour. It's been an hour and a minute. So I'm off. I'm gone. So look, the video again will be posted. Watch it. Make your comments. Tell me what you think. Give me your opinions. And I will see y'all next Friday. I have a topic for next Friday already. I'm going to post it. I'll post it probably about Wednesday. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be another good one. And fellas, it's for you all. It's for you all. All right. Love y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. That Alabama-Georgia game, we're going to see what them dogs going to do. I'm not a college football fan really, but hey, I'm in Georgia. This is a little bit of history. So, go Dogs. All right. Good night.